Why are Watford so toothless? Last time they played Rotherham, it was 5-0. It's not going to be the same scoreline this weekend, is it, Aaron?
Absolutely not. I mean, to think that at one point this season we scored 5 goals in the game, you wouldn't believe it watching us the last few weeks because, we just do not click going forward at all.
Welcome back to the Watford View. Delighted to be joined this week on Aaron's Watford recollections and reflections by Reese, who's our Rotherham fan on Terrace Talk. Good evening, Reese.
Good evening.
Looking forward to this one?
Yes, I think so. It's going to be a nail biter, I think, this time.
All right, Aaron. Is this more important game for you or for Rotherham?
I'm going to say Rotherham, but that's not to say it's not important to us at all. I mean, like you say, we're so toothless at the minute. We're in a bit of a slump, and there has to be a turning point at some point. And I mean, looking at the fixtures coming up, I mean, a team at the foot of the table, that has to be your turning point to get a win, to get some momentum. If you're not winning there, it turns a slump a bit worse, and it puts doubt in people's minds, and no one wants that.
Let's review the Leicester game then, and we'll talk about the potential wobbles around any sort of managerial nervousness, which usually happens with Watford after a run. The Leicester game, lots of Leicester fans said actually it was a decent performance from Watford. I've obviously only seen the highlights. Obviously, you were there, and actually you could have nicked a draw. Would you go along with that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I thought in the second half we were by far the better team. First half, we give away a penalty. It was soft. I mean, from my end of the ground, it was hard to see. I've seen it back. There is contact. It is minimal, but it's the sort of pen that I think the top teams normally get. And then we sort of, after the penalty, we come on to them a bit. Other than the penalty, they didn't really create anything in the first half, but we weren't creating anything either. Like I say, we can't seem to click. We can't get the ball forward quick enough. And I mean, Bio going off in the first minute obviously threw our plans up in the air, having to bring Rajovic on so early. It was a frustrating first half. Then we come out in the second half and we looked way better. And then the crowd was starting to get behind them, and they were starting to push on to Leicester a bit more. And the minute you push on to a team as good as Leicester, they can punish you. And that was what happened. We tried to press really high. Our centre-back come really high. And they just literally 1, 2, 3 in behind us in the box goal. It was and that's what happens against the top teams in this league. They will punish you when you get a bit too confident. They gifted us a goal in the end. But yeah, no, it wasn't a bad performance by any means.
And that's 2 good performances now against Leicester, both home and away, isn't it? And you can take heart from that, I suppose. Or no points to show for it, but this is a Premier League team playing the Championship, isn't it? And you've held your own really well against them twice.
Yeah, absolutely. I was saying this, it just makes it all the more frustrating. Is that we've pulled out good performances against them twice and haven't really got much show for it. I also think, bar the FA Cup replay, we put in really good performances against Southampton in the first FA Cup game and our league fixture. I think the only of the top sort of teams up there, the only team that really played us off the park was Leeds. And when you look at those performances, but then you have performances like the Sheffield Wednesday away game, the home loss to Cardiff, it's like you wouldn't think they're the same team.
Yeah, and so it's one of those teams that plays up depending on the opposition and lowers their expectations when they're playing a lower team. Okay, obviously we're recording this before the trip to Carrow for the Norwich game. Sorry, this week. So we won't know. We won't comment on that score. But is it time to start Dennis, Asprilla, and possibly Kembe now, and just go with that? There's no point holding any players back now. You just got to go and get results.
Yeah, we're in a bit of a catch-22 with injuries and with fitness with Dennis and Kembe specifically. Kembe has come out today that he is back for the trip to Carrow Road. So if he doesn't start there, then he must start at Rotherham. I think if he gets maybe 40 minutes under his belt at Norwich, and then he should be in the team at Rotherham because we've undoubtedly missed him. I actually think, weirdly, he's a midfield player, but he's probably our best ball striker in the whole team. When it comes from sort of the edge of the box, if he gets an opportunity to shoot, he's generally quite good at working the goalkeeper. As for Dennis, I mean, striker's been a problem for us all season. Rajovic sort of went on a good run getting a couple of goals, but he's very much that traditional poacher striker who needs 4 or 5 chances a game and he needs good balls into him or he's not going to do anything. And then Paul Bayer, I feel for him, he tries, but like it doesn't work out for him, it seems. And there are only 2 strikers. So I think it's going to get to a point where we're going to have to try and find a solution within the squad that we can play without maybe a traditional striker. I think that eventually should be by playing Emmaneul Dennis up the middle. But Valérien Ismaël seems to be really cautious. I get he probably didn't play very much towards the end of his time in Turkey, and he probably needs his fitness levels raising, but we need him to be fit fast.
Okay. Let's bring you back in, Reece, then. Reece, just tell the Watford fans that are watching this what sort of Rotherham side they're likely to come up against this Saturday. How have you been playing? And obviously it's a different Rotherham side to what played at Vicarage Road in November.
Yeah, I think they're going to want to repay the score back, I'd say. So they've got some. They need some points, obviously themselves. So they're going to be fighting for their lives, I reckon. This game, like I said, they're going to be. Obviously, we're at home. We've got a lot more support. They're going to be. I think they're going to be. Climbing up uphill battle, I think, as well, because Rotherham just definitely need it. So they're just as desperate. So it's one of those where it's like everyone's fighting for their lives.
Yeah. Is this going to be a 4-5-1 versus a 4-5-1 and a packed midfield?
Yeah, it won't surprise me, to be fair. But yeah, maybe I'm hoping that he does put more of an attacking side on. We definitely need it. Obviously, because we've got Hugo on there, we've got Nombe, which we need to start playing a bit more. I'll just if it were me, I'd be saying throw everything at it now and just get as much as you can. Yeah. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, and you've still got one of the best goalkeepers in the league for me. How anyone didn't snap him up in January is beyond me.
I know. I think, to be fair, he must have some glue. He must have some glue on his mitts because he's just got fast hands and everything.
Okay. So we've got 2 of the best goalkeepers in the league in nets this weekend. We've got a packed midfield with 2 teams that can't score. You know what the scoreline this is going to be, Aaron, don't you? I'm going to put my money on 0-0. But Aaron, what are you going for?
I mean, I've got to try and stay optimistic. I'm not optimistic enough to say we'll keep a clean sheet. So I think I'll go for a 2-1 win, but I wouldn't be surprised at a draw. I think I'd be more likely to see 1-1 just because of our total blank when it comes to trying to defend. We go to sleep in 5 minutes a match at least, and in that 5 minutes, the team normally gets a goal. So yeah. Nice
one. Reece?
I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to say 2-1 to Rotherham. And if you look close enough, I've got season ticket just behind the net, so you'll see me. Woo, give the big licks when we get the goal.
Well, get a video for us. If there's any penalties, Reece, get your phone out and then we'll show it here.
Definitely will.
Aaron, just a final word on this. This is a comment that came on Twitter, so I'll just read it to you. And it said this: failure against Norwich, Rotherham and Huddersfield could spell the end of Ismaël. But the first question to ask is whether Pozzo could afford to sack him. The second question on earth is who would want the job. Is there any rumblings of discontent, worry, concern amongst the terraces of Vicarage Road that this spell, if it doesn't improve quickly, might make the owners a little bit fidgety?
I'd say 90% of the fan base are well behind Valérien Ismaël, but and as you say, I think a lot of the fan base do not have faith in the ownership backing him fully if it does start to go pear-shaped. If this slump continues, I'll be extremely concerned. Not because I'd want Valérien gone. I'd be concerned that they're going to sack him and we're going to be back where we were last season.
Yeah. Okay. So Norwich, Rotherham and Huddersfield, 3 crucial games, yeah?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think these 3 games are pretty huge as a collective. If we don't see at least 3 points from this week, I'm scared of where this slump could take you because this league is so bonkers that it only takes a few games, and we'd slide right back down there, especially with the teams down there performing so well.
All right. Thanks very much, folks. Then, if you're a Watford fan, we appreciate there's tons of Watford content online, but we like to think this is the most unique Watford content that you can find because Aaron is here every week and we have fans of all of the teams and special guests as well. So thank you, Aaron, again. Enjoy the game and safe trip up to Rotherham this weekend. And thank you, Reece, for joining us on the Watford Review. Appreciate it all. Thanks, folks.